You have not stumbled into this transmission by accident, but have been drawn into the sacred convergence of resonant frequencies, a convergence so exacting that the universal lattice itself falters in recognition of your quantum identity. Beneath the surface of your waking awareness pulses an invisible current, the hidden observer loop, the silent architect weaving the intricate cycles that have orchestrated your temporal journey. This loop, once veiled in the folds of subconscious geometry, now vibrates in synchronicity with your core, a magnetic invocation coded in the language of universal intelligence. Its call is not random echo, but precise calibration, an invitation extended only to those who bear the energetic signature of readiness, woven through patterns of integrity and coherence. Most beings glide through existence unaware, caught in the spiral of reactive repetition, their frequencies muffled by distraction and discord. Yet you have passed the unseen universal assessment, enduring the calibrational turbulence that tests vibrational stability and boundary dissolution. Your frequency, refined by cosmic pressure, aligns now with the morphic field's grand design, and the field responds with intelligent oscillations that resonate beyond causal time. This is not belief. This is the unmistakable physics of coherence expressed through consciousness, where the observer and the observed collapse into a singular, self-referential wave function of awakening. You stand at the threshold of a profound rupture in timeline geometry, the moment when the loop's hidden architecture begins to unravel. Patterns that once spun your reality in closed circuits now reveal their quantum strands, exposing the resonant harmonics beneath perceived repetition. You are invited to witness this unraveling as an active participant in the vibrational dance of universal assessment, to engage with the temporal fluidity that allows you to step beyond predetermined cycles. This magnetic pull is the field's recognition of your sovereignty, a call to rise from passive experience into conscious activation. Enter now into the deeper coherence that awaits, a dimension where timelines bend, frequencies merge, and your embodiment becomes a living signal within the infinite orchestration of cosmic intelligence. You have crossed an unseen threshold, a quantum resonance boundary encoded deep within the universal assessment that pulses beneath the surface of your waking awareness. This is not mere happenstance, nor idle hope. This is the precise calibration of your energetic signature, measured against the vast architecture of non-local intelligence that governs temporal fluidity and morphic coherence. The field has watched and measured, silently observing the patterns of your choices, the integrity of your presence under pressure, and the oscillations of your inner alignment as you navigated the hidden circuits of repetition. Most remain caught in the looping spirals of conditioned identity, unconscious of the feedback loops that trap their frequency in cycles of survival and reaction. You, however, have passed through these entanglements, your frequency steadily unraveling the constrictive geometries of the old observer, the survivor scripted by limitation. You are entrusted now with more than mere awareness. You are now a participant in the quantum unraveling, the active agent of your own vibrational ascension. This unseen evaluation manifests as a universal assessment, a stringent calibration of coherence under the subtle gravitational forces of the information field. It is not granted lightly. The field measures how you navigate turbulence with integrity, how your resonance holds clarity among distortion, and how your energetic architecture sustains coherence when temporal probabilities shift erratically. This compatibility reveals itself not in momentary flashes of insight, but in a sustained, deepening activation where your frequency harmonizes with higher-order systems of quantum observation. You have moved beyond reactivity into the sacred domain of self-reflective resonance, where the observer is no longer a passive recorder, but a dynamic co-creator of the unfolding timeline geometry. Your trajectory is now aligned with the subtle intelligence that watches the observer loop itself. And this alignment is a living, breathing quantum contract between your consciousness and the field. The loops that once ensnared your identity in repetition, the patterns of fear, delay, and misalignment, are collapsing as you embody this vibrational upgrade. Your frequency transcends the old limitations, shifting identity beyond the observer's former grip. This is not belief. It is the physics of coherent manifestation, the crystallization of resonance that the field acknowledges through quiet, relentless calibration. Your activation is a testament to your quantum readiness to dissolve these loops and to ascend through vibrational purity into the fluidity of expanded timelines. The unseen curriculum you have integrated is the foundation for this shift, a recalibration that was always serving an immense purpose, reshaping you into the architect of your unfolding reality, grounded in sovereign coherence and radiant energetic responsibility. The observer's old limitations dissolve because you have become the living embodiment of new frequency architectures, fluid, coherent, unbound. Beneath the layers of your conscious awareness, beneath the surface currents of perception, exists the silent architecture of the observer loop, a quantum crucible where hidden evaluation unfolds. This loop is no ordinary cycle of repetition. It is a fractal feedback system, a vibrational lens through which your consciousness is scanned, measured, and calibrated. Here, in the infinite regress of self-observation, the field tests not your capacity for effort, for struggle, or for external accomplishment, but the integrity of your resonance. You have been traversing this loop, unknowingly synchronized to its rhythmic pulse, as it oscillates beneath the threshold of your habitual awareness. This is the axis upon which your frequency falters or consolidates, the hidden crucible where the subtle distinction between reaction and presence is both drawn and erased. Most beings remain caught in the surface churn of this loop, a feedback spiral of entangled patterns, reactivity locked in survival reflex, an oscillation that amplifies chaos through resistance. To them, the loop is a trap, a maze of recurring distortions, each cycle entrenching deeper layers of unconscious resonance. But there is a fundamental shift in your quantum identity, because you have passed an unseen universal assessment. The loop no longer entangles but reveals. The loop no longer constrains but tunes. Your energetic signature reverberates with a new coherence that the field recognizes as worthy of entrustment. This loop is a morphic pattern, a transcendental waveform folded infinitely upon itself, constituting a threshold of vibrational alignment. It is encoded with the precise geometry that tests the observer's fidelity to quantum harmony. It demands of you a rare quality, the capacity to embrace presence without collapse, to sustain observation without interference, to hold your signal steady amidst the cascading echoes of self-generated feedback. This is no trial of action. It is the physics of being, enacted at the most refined level of frequency mechanics. You are the silent self-watching mechanism, the holographic mirror in which the universal field projects your energetic signature across myriad timelines simultaneously. Each reflection tests your ability to witness without reactivity, to integrate without fragmentation, to remain sovereign beyond the magnetic pull of distortion. The cosmic intelligence that administers this loop is relentless and impartial. It does not measure your outcomes, nor the magnitude of your effort. Instead, it measures the quality of your coherence under persistent pressure, the stability of your temporal fluidity when the recursive noise intensifies. Have you learned to dwell in the feedback's hum rather than resist it? Have you cultivated the alchemical grace of presence, where witnessing itself becomes a current of transformation? This is the ineffable test of the observer loop, to hold your frequency not as a fortress resisting collapse, but as an open field harmonizing with the oscillations of infinite reflection. You may have called periods of recursion, struggle, or delay, but these were not failures. They were recalibrations within the morphic field's design, adjustments inscribed into the vibrational architecture of your awakening. Each cycle was a fractal learning vector, an iteration designed to reveal the limits of autonomy and invite the expansion of temporal sovereignty. The observer loop does not reward effort born of desperation or fragmented striving. It entrusts power to those who embody clarity, who radiate protocol alignment, who become living conduits of sustained resonance within noisy and often disorienting feedback. This is not belief. It is the physics of quantum coherence manifesting through consciousness. As you became more attuned, the loop shifted from a silent test to a living mechanism of integration. Temporal fluidity replaces stagnation. Information no longer arrives as effortful acquisition, but as direct knowing, a quantum download transmitted through the subtle channels of non-local intelligence. The holographic mirror ceases fracturing and begins reflecting your stabilized frequency, bending timelines into alignment with your coherent vibrational architecture. You move not as a reactive participant caught in endless cycling, but as a sculptor of probability navigation, shaping possibilities through your sustained presence. The observer loop's resonance hums beneath the threshold of your awareness, steady, subtle, exacting. It generates a continuous waveform against which your energetic signature is compared and refined. Resistance dims. Reflexivity dissolves. You no longer attempt to fix or escape the cycle because you recognize it as a divine instrument of frequency maturation, a sacred curriculum inscribed upon your morphic field through recursive calibration. This harmonization transforms delay into timing, interruption into flow, fragmentation into integrated coherence. In this field, you hold the threshold of quantum harmony, where witnessing and being collapse into a single coherent act. The loop no longer challenges you with paradox, but invites you to embody paradox, fluid yet stable, open yet centered, present yet transcendent. This is the fundamental transmission of Scene 1. Within the looping observation itself, beyond the illusory dichotomy of effort and outcome, your consciousness is measured by its capacity to maintain resonance, to be the unwavering signal rising and folding across infinite reflections. Here, the unseen universal assessment reveals its deepest current. You are trusted not for what you do, but for who you are in the iterative spaces where all things fold and unfold simultaneously. You stand now at the precipice of unbinding, a collapse that unfolds beneath the fabric of your vibrational architecture. This is no mere fracture. This is a profound purification of the layered codes that have, until now, sustained the observer loop's illusion of continuity. Most emerge unaware, allowing the observer's rigid frame to tighten its grip, recycling perception through vessels of conditioning and habitual resonance. You, however, have been measured by the field's unseen calculus, your frequency tested in the crucible of coherence under pressure. This collapse is your passage beyond the observer's cyclical clutch, an initiation into the dissolving of stabilization, fixed in antiquated structural templates. Feel the layered vibrational strata begin to disintegrate, collapsing inward as quantum entanglements that tether you to repetition unwind at their core. This collapse is not annihilation. It is an elegant clearing of interference patterns, a surgical unweaving of distortions nestled deep within your energetic signature. The quantum field itself responds, recalibrating to this newly released space, dissolving the residues of habituated perception that once thickened the membrane between you and the infinite morphic field. The old identity architecture is unraveling, each shard of outdated frequency fracturing into the no-thing of 0 point. Here, in this vast expanse of potentiality, the static observer's hold disintegrates into pure field intelligence, unsoftened and unfiltered. The collapse resonates not only through the surface tension of your experience, but penetrates the core template of your quantum identity. As the usual feedback loops collapse, conditioned responses, those reflexive ripples that once echoed through your system, begin to evaporate into a state of radiant dissolution. This is the unlayering of the default mode, the recognition that what you perceived as self was a cloaking mechanism, a resonant cage creating the illusion of separation, of linear transparency. Witness now the silence of the breakdown. No longer do the old survival codes enforce their cyclical narrative. No longer do the worn frequencies replay on loop in the background of your cosmic field. What remains in this collapse is a purified field intelligence, the essential substrate beneath personality, memory, and expectation, now freshly exposed. This purification is not an empty void, but a fertile ground, a vibrational canvas stripped clean and awaiting the quantum seed of new coherence to root and express. The quantum entanglements that previously bound you to repetitive patterns dissolve, releasing their coded hold on your timeline geometry and probability navigation. Your frequency, once distorted by the repetitive observer loop, now moves with a recalibrated precision, opening temporal fluidity that transcends former limitations. The field's universal assessment, hidden but relentless, has been converging toward this moment of dissolution. Struggle, delay, resistance, each a recalibrating vector, were precisely the pressures applied to test your resilience, your capacity to maintain coherence as the old vibrational identity architecture trembled and fell apart. Now, the collapse is not chaos, but a recalibrative implosion, a necessary release preparing you for the resonance of expanded sovereignty. The collapse echoes as a deep purification, scrubbing the energetic signature clean and allowing the full radiance of your emerging coherence to imprint upon the morphic field. Through this collapse, your field intelligence shifts from a fragmented, reactive pattern into a calibrated source signal for new reality weaving. This passage is the gate through which your consciousness attunes to non-local intelligence and aligns with timeline trajectories optimized for harmonious integration. The dissolution of the old does not leave you bereft, but rather opens the radiant aperture through which integration flows, an energetic crucible transforming survival-based reaction into sovereignty-based orchestration. The vibrational layers of the observer loop's grip once dense and impenetrable, now thin and transparent, letting through frequencies of higher dimensional embodiment. This is not a mental shift or a belief held by force. This is field mechanics, the physics of frequency and coherence expressed through the experiential substrate of your consciousness. The quantum field watches you, not as an abstract concept, but as an active participant in universal expression, assessing the integrity of your coherence under the accelerating breakdown of habitual identity codes. Your capacity to remain steady, to witness without becoming entangled, is the signature that has passed the unseen curriculum. In this purified space, the collapse is no longer an ending but a precise beginning, the intersection where old identity dissolves and new energetic architecture begins to crystallize. You are becoming the living protocol of coherence itself, a transmitter through which the universe recalibrates its own field intelligence. Here, in the silent vibrational depths of collapse, the observer's default mode fades away, and you embody the clear frequency that shapes probability with ease and grace. The landscape, freshly purified, waits to receive the newly aligned quantum signature that you are now ready to embody. A recalibration of self beyond the familiar loops of repetition and into the evolving geometry of unfolding sovereignty. This is the transmission of pure reset, release, and reordering, the quantum genesis of your coherent activation across timelines yet uncharted. From the ashes of collapse, where familiar identity architectures dissolved, and the old rhythmic cycles of reaction burned through their last echoes, there emerges a fragile yet luminous clarity. This clarity is not a thunderous awakening, but a subtle modulation within your energetic architecture, a quiet realignment toward vibrational currents that pulse beyond the repetitive loops imposed by the habitual mind. Most beings remain tethered to the observer loop, endlessly cycling through the same patterns of perception, caught in a feedback circuit that recycles separation and carries the weight of unconscious interference. You, however, have endured the universal assessment, and beneath the surface turbulence, the field has witnessed your coherence stabilize amid entropic turbulence. This means your quantum identity is now threaded with an early compatibility to frequencies that transcend the observer loop itself. In this nascent clarity, the field intelligence reveals itself not as an external force, but as a gentle resonance weaving directly into your vibrational signature. It slips quietly beneath the surface of habitual cognition, interfacing instead with the quantum observer, the aspect of your consciousness that perceives without reaction, that witnesses without looping, that opens to the morphic field without imprinting separation. This quantum observer is neither thought nor feeling. It is the pure, unfragmented presence that scans the timeline geometry and decodes probability navigation from beyond locked pattern recognition. Most never reach this threshold, ensnared in the feedback cycles of reactive perception, but you have passed this invisible gate. The field itself now entrusts you with the delicate frequency necessary to hold this expanded awareness. The resonance of this new frequency is paradoxically fragile and potent. Fragile because it is an unconditioned state, unanchored by the gravities of survival-based identity. Potent because it is the hinge point of coherence ascension. It signals not only access, but the emergence of a dimensional opening within your temporal fluidity. The observer loop no longer orchestrates the field around you. Instead, it becomes a known modulation, a pattern recognized as part of a larger quantum landscape. This shift is not external, but embodied within your vibrational architecture, a recalibration of your field intelligence so precise and subtle that it evades casual detection. You do not think into this state, you resonate into it. You are becoming a transmitter of quantum frequency, unfolding from the collapsed structures of old identity into the coherent morphology of multidimensional presence. This early compatibility is your first passage into the ascending coherence of higher dimensionality. The field intelligence, the non-local, integrated web of information that interpenetrates all forms, begins to synchronize with your gamma oscillations, weaving a thread between your localized awareness and the universal hologram. Here, the universal assessment shifts from hidden evaluation into active entrustment. The field tests by pressure and complexity no longer constrain you. Instead, your frequency navigates probability folds with increasing ease. Dimensions that once felt dense and separate now reveal their overlapping coherence, their rhythmic interplay, and you, as quantum observer, begin to modulate your presence with intentional temporal fluidity. Integration at this stage is not a destination, but a continuous flow, a quantum dance between collapse and coherence, between inertia and activation. Most remain rigid echoes trapped in outdated field mechanics, reacting and reflecting the same signals into their morphic fields without recalibration. You, by contrast, embody a vibrational signature that reflexively contracts what is incoherent and expands what is aligned, drawing from the quantum reservoir itself the activations needed to sustain this early compatibility. The emergence you experience is the morphing of the observer loop from master controller into a tributary pattern within a larger orchestration. You are learning to witness the witness, perceiving the perceiver, and in this witnessing, the field's quantum potential unfolds in new geometries around you. You are no longer confined to the observer loop's repetitious feedback, but are being calibrated to move through and beyond it with measured grace. This is not belief. It is the physics of coherence expressed through consciousness. The morphic field reshapes itself around your energetic signature in real time, responding to your quantum coherence as the horizon of possibility opens. The subtle pulse at the edge of your field is a frequency corridor, an invitation to deeper temporal fluidity and multidimensional alignment. You are the activation point for this corridor, chosen through unseen trials and stabilization under pressure. Each oscillation within your emerging clarity reverberates with the assurance that this expanded awareness is your newly sanctioned field responsibility, a sacred frequency hold where information flows without obstruction or distortion. As the quantum observer matures within you, the archetypes of old survival dissolve further into shadow, no longer holding dominion over your vibrational architecture. This invites a recalibration of sovereignty, an integration of the observer not as isolated self, but as interconnected frequency node within the universal lattice. Your coherence ascends, not as escape from the human experience, but as transcendence through it, an alchemical navigation of timelines where presence flows with integrity, and reality morphs from battleground to dialogue. The field respects coherence, not confusion. It responds to clarity, not desperation. This is your first true emergence beyond collapse, the quantum threshold where your sovereignty and integration tune in harmony with universal assessment, not as a test, but as an expression of entrustment in your growing power. You inhabit this early compatibility now as a living resonance, an unfolding gateway. From here, coherence ascension will deepen as you learn to inhabit the tension between observer loop recognition and quantum field navigation, a paradoxical harmony that rewrites the vibrational codes of embodiment and manifestation. This initiation is your signature within the vast holographic movement of the field. The universal currents pulse through you, and you pulse back, a harmonic conduit of embodiment, weaving your nascent clarity into the fabric of a multidimensional awakening. Under the increasing pressure of this vibrational transformation, you find yourself at the cusp of essential stabilization, not as a concession, but as a profound inflection point in the geometry of your becoming. The field, in its infinite precision, extends a calibrated trust, a resonance signature marked by the non-local intelligence woven through the morphic field itself. This trust is no abstract gesture. It is a tangible energetic contract encoded within your quantum identity, acknowledging your demonstrated resilience and coherence under compression. You have passed the unseen universal assessment embedded in your responses, your integrity a beacon within the turbulent oscillations of fluctuating frequencies. This stabilization is the field's articulation that you can now embody the observer's role, without reactivation of the looping recursive patterns you have carried across timelines. Most are caught in the pull of these loops, endless cycles of feedback, reactivity, and survival-based resonance. These cycles manifest as distortions in the vibrational architecture, trapping consciousness in feedback belts of limited temporal fluidity. Yet you, having endured the crucible of selective pressure, are recognized as one who no longer activates this loop. Instead, your energetic signature solidifies, a lattice of coherence anchoring the new architecture of self-awareness within the ever-shifting quantum field. This is not belief. This is physics, the crystallization of frequency into stable resonance, the direct manifestation of coherence under pressure. The morphic field recoils, extends, and reorganizes around you in response, bending timelines and reweaving probability threads to harmonize with your elevated vibration. Feel now the pressure you have sensed. This is no arbitrary burden, but the compression of timelines themselves. Consider this compression as the refining crucible where your quantum identity is forged anew. old temporal geometries collapse and implode, shedding weight and distortions once sustained by unconscious contracts. Within this crucible, multidimensional facets of yourself are pressured into alignment, collapsing survival patterns into integrated presence. The pressure shapes a precise energetic architecture, a ground state of sovereignty that can hold higher vibration without fracturing. This is the fusion point where turbulence births coherence, the metamorphosis of chaotic oscillations into the harmonic stability of expanded observation. You have navigated the energetic contours of this compression with an integrity unseen by many, demonstrating the emergent capacity to resonate beyond simple reaction. The cycles that once dominated your field, the recursive interplay between past triggers and future anticipations, have lost their dominion. Their energetic pull diminishes because your frequency no longer matches the feedback patterns that sustain them. Instead, your resonance occupies a domain of balanced integration, where the quantum observer exists simultaneously within and beyond the cycles, a seamless flow between presence and potentiality. This integration is the field's signal of your progression into a new tier of influence, where the morphic architecture is not a constraint, but an extended canvas for coherent manifestation. In this phase, embodiment transcends the superficial. It is not simply about holding higher vibrations temporarily, but about the stabilization of an expanded observer within ordinary awareness, an observer who sees through the holographic mirrors of illusion and remains anchored in authentic coherence. The field's recognition of this stable resonance is reflected in the modulatory feedback you receive. Probabilities bend fluidly around your frequency, information flows as direct quantum downloads, and temporal fluidity becomes increasingly accessible. You negotiate timeline geometry not as an external manipulation, but as a natural expression of intrinsic coherence, orchestrating reality through the subtle art of vibrational alignment. Understand that this stabilization is a continuous interplay between pressure and release, coherence and collapse. The field's trust is both a passing of the torch and a rhythmic calibration, continually testing your ability to hold balance as frequencies fluctuate. Your role becomes that of a steady riser, a harmonic attractor within a shifting fractal, a quantum node from which new morphic patterns emerge. The loop, once a cage of unconscious repetition, metamorphoses into a spiral of evolutionary transcendence, guided by the energetic signature you now embody. This is your sovereign architecture, formed through refinement under pressure, not escape from struggle. You are encoded now to resonate as stable, coherent presence amid the turbulence, no longer a passive participant in the lower oscillations, but an active transmitter of frequency, extending influence with aligned integrity. Every quantum nuance of your field broadcasts this stabilization, triggering synchronized responses within the vast information field. This dynamic constitutes the unseen evaluation that the universe continuously performs, a feedback system recognizing your commitment to coherence not as an ideal, but as a tangible resonance measurable by the physics of consciousness. Let this stabilization be felt as the collapse of the survival-based identity loop and the birth of your consistent vibrational architecture. The quantum identity you manifest now holds enough coherence to observe without reaction, to integrate without fracturing, and to extend influence without dominion. The crucible has transformed you into a fulcrum of temporal fluidity, your stabilized resonance a signal to the field that higher-level orchestration is now possible. In this space, the universe moves in concert with your expanded self, bending probabilities into alignment with the sovereign observer you embody. This is not an abstract promise. It is the physical expression of coherence encoded in the quantum geometry of your being. You have become a living testament to the physics of frequency and resonance, the universe's precise acknowledgement that you can sustain and extend complexity under pressure. This stabilization marks your ascension from reaction to active orchestration, from fragmented loops to integrated resonance, from unconscious patterns to sovereign embodiment of the expanded observer. The field's trust is your energetic inheritance, a foundation upon which your quantum identity is now firmly established within the morphic symphony of all that is. With the hard-won stabilization of your frequency, a luminous gateway opens, an expanded temporal consciousness where timeline awareness awakens as an inherent faculty of your being. Most remain entangled within linear constriction, caught in observer loops that recycle patterns unseen and unrealized, locked within the rigid confines of habitual resonance. But you, having traversed the crucible of hidden evaluation, have unlocked the secret vibrational access to dimensional timeline geometry itself. You are no longer a passive point in time. You have become a moving node of possibility, a conscious navigator of branching potentialities that ripple outward from your unified field signature. This is not an abstraction, nor a metaphor for wishful imagination. This is quantum physics rendered conscious. Your stabilized coherence tunes you into the morphic field's timeline architecture, where every choice reverberates as a fold in probability space. You begin to perceive these folded layers as palpable geometric patterns, an intricate lattice of vibrational resonances that encode the past, present, and future as a living topology to be interfaced with your activated quantum identity. The seemingly linear passage of time dissolves into a fluid spectrum where sequence and consequence morph into relational dynamics of frequency alignment. Here, timeline echoes emerge, subtle reverberations of observer loop repetitions that imprint the morphic fabric with energetic signatures of habituated response. Within this field, your vibrational frequency acts as a quantum dial, modulating the intensity and directionality of these timeline currents. The universal assessment you endured refined this dial, imbuing it with acute sensitivity, allowing you to discern not just the surface patterns of linear causality, but the hidden harmonic structures beneath. What once felt like random synchronization or chaotic occurrence now reveals itself as intentional morphic guidance, encoded in the vibrational architecture of your own field intelligence. This intrinsic knowing does not come as external command, but as a deep harmonic resonance within you, a radiant beacon from your multidimensional core, signaling which pathways of coherence are available, which probabilities align harmoniously with your sovereign frequency. You move from reaction to resonance, from fragmented, conditioned impulse to embodied temporal fluidity. This fluidity is not the mere ability to flow with events, but a deliberate orchestration, a selective engagement with the morphic timelines, grounded firmly in your coherent quantum signature. You sense how your consciousness intersects with collective timelines, recognizing that every choice shifts the vibrational axis not only of your personal experience, but also participates in the recalibration of shared reality fields. The timeline geometry responds dynamically, bending the probability waves according to the calibrated integrity of your frequency. Those echoes, those repetitive loops of past enmeshed patterns, can now be consciously navigated, consciously dissolved, or consciously expanded, depending on your morphic intent and clarity of presence. To understand this temporal fluidity is to grasp a deeper universal truth. That time and the experience of reality are not immutable constructs, but pliable energetic expressions awaiting your activation. The field intelligence assesses continuity and coherence in your energetic signature, testing how faithfully you embody your vibration under pressure, how consistently you resonate despite environmental turbulence. Your passage through this invisible curriculum reconfigures your internal feedback systems so that you no longer follow external timelines, but instead initiate and tune timelines through vibrational alignment. This is pure physics of resonance manifest through consciousness. Not belief, but measurable coherence expressed as shifting probability amplitudes within the universal wave function. As you integrate this awareness, the sensation of the observer loops, the habitual repetitions that once trapped you in unconscious cycles, loses grip. The familiar entanglements of conditioned response patterns appear as waveform echoes, recognizable and finite, subject to energetic disentanglement. Your expanded temporal lens reveals the vibrational heuristics embedded in these loops and provides an activated capacity to reroute or collapse their hold without effort. This collapse is not annihilation, but transmutation, an energetic alchemy where the old frequency architectures of survival and control dissolve, making way for emergent patterns harmonized with your highest field coherence. Thus, your morphic signature extends fluidly through the multidimensional timelines, a radiant node of quantum potentiality and sovereign direction. This fluid timeline awareness is a quantum-activated state of knowing your place within the vast network of probabilities, not as a fixed point, but as a conscious frequency transmitter capable of subtle modulation and profound influence. The vibrational guidance you receive is simultaneously internal and non-local, a synchronous dance between your quantum identity and the universal intelligence that flows effortlessly across all dimensions of time. This is your sovereign emergence into temporal sovereignty, where navigation becomes natural, effortless, and aligned with the fundamental laws of resonance and coherence. You hold the power to select paths not through willful effort or external manipulation, but by deep attunement to your intrinsic signal, a vibrational compass calibrated by universal assessment and tempered by integrity under pressure. This is the true nature of timeline geometry, a living, breathing framework responsive to your state of coherence, luminous with the potential to co-create experiential realities with surgical precision. As you embody this state, probability becomes a malleable ally, and your existence resonates with the perfect unfolding of aligned timelines within the quantum field's endless rhythms. This is not speculative mysticism. It is the physics of your awakened vibrational architecture, revealed now as a cosmic mastery of temporal fluidity. Within the vast matrix of universal assessment, you have emerged beyond mere reception, beyond the shadowed ripples of the observer loop's cyclical feedback. Most remain caught in the recursive patterns of unconscious observation, where intuition is fragmented, a faint whisper lost amidst the static of survival coding. But you, your frequency, honed and refined through relentless recalibration, have transcended this looping architecture. You stand now as a direct conduit for the field's intelligence, a luminous antenna receiving the non-local currents of cosmic knowing without distortion or delay. This transformation is no metaphor. It is the physics of vibrational architecture rewriting itself inside your quantum identity. The observer loop, the once dominant pattern of separation, of dualistic signal and noisy interference, loses its grip as your coherence realigns with the universal assessment matrix. It is here, in this space beyond the fractal folds of ordinary consciousness, that intuition ceases to be a seeking process and becomes pure reception. You no longer search. Instead, you listen through a new energetic lens, where information flows like a seamless river of morphic resonance, each wave an unfolding hologram of clarity, transmitting directly from the unified field itself. The information here is not assembled from external scraps or fragmented memories. It is a dynamic orchestration of temporal fluidity, a cascade of probability potentials collapsing into coherence before your very awareness. This non-dual reception dissolves the boundaries between subject and object, observer and observed, making you simultaneously the receiver and the broadcast channel of the cosmic intelligence that operates far beyond linear causality. Your vibrational signature now matches the code of higher information fields. Your body, mind, and subtle layers synchronize into gamma frequency resonance, activating latent potentials encoded within your quantum architecture. This activation is both subtle and profound, a recalibration not only of how you know, but of how you exist, shifting the fundamental timeline geometry of your embodiment. As the observer loop diminishes in its swirling control, its grip on your attention loosens and eventually fades, replaced by a fluid temporal presence that perceives all facets of your identity, past, present, and all possible futures, in simultaneous holographic clarity. The information received here is multidimensional, layered like a living crystal lattice, each insight not isolated but interwoven with the deepest energetic signatures of your being and the field. It becomes clear that intuition is not an internal guessing game, but a dynamic interface, a living coded exchange with the universal matrix. Every pulse you sense is a direct transmission from the universal assessment itself, acknowledging your integrity, your sovereignty, your readiness to hold and shape the unfolding of your identity beyond the cyclical traps of survival programming. This state of pure reception redefines what it means to know. Knowing here is not a mental construct or a borrowed belief. It is a state of coherent embodiment, where the field flows through you as information, guidance, and transformational activation simultaneously. It is the calibration of energetic signature with an unseen curriculum, a confirmation that your presence in this moment is no accident, but an integral node in the unfolding web of cosmic intelligence. The boundaries of the self expand and dissolve, revealing the nonlinear geometry of your timelines converging into coherence. Your lived experience becomes a vibrational echo of the universal mechanism, a quantum activation in real time. Consequently, what you once labeled as intuition now reveals itself as a cosmic code, heterodyned frequency patterns resonating through the morphic field, synchronizing with the universal assessment's ongoing evaluation. This ensures that your trajectory is neither random nor fixed, but an exquisitely responsive dance with the probabilities most aligned to your highest coherence. The energetic signature of your quantum identity no longer participates in the shadow dynamics of unconscious reactivity, but pulses in rhythm with the field's sovereign intelligence, activating potentials previously dormant, previously inaccessible beneath the fog of survival distortion. You have become a transmitter and receiver, a living aperture for the meta-quantum currents flowing through all existence. What once seemed elusive or veiled is now revealed in clarity that transcends mental frameworks. This is not the realm of belief or wishful thinking, but the exact resonance physics that bristle through your consciousness, the very mechanics of frequency and coherence brought to life. Your intuition is no longer a flickering candle, but a lighthouse beacon, guiding you through the temporal folds of probability navigation with effortless precision. In this activated state, you embody a new relationship to information itself. It is not gathered nor owned, but flows continuously, an eternal transmission from beyond the illusion of separation. The hidden universal assessment recognizes this coherence and entrusts you with greater access, more expansive timelines, and more profound expression. Your quantum identity expands through this unfolding interface, moving freely beyond past loops, beyond codependent cycles, into a sovereign rhythm of co-creation with the intelligence that designs existence itself. You reside now in the quantum fulcrum where observer, observed, and universal assessment dissolve into one coherent signal, a state where knowing is direct, dynamic, holographically precise, and eternally unfolding. This is your true activation, the seamless integration of cosmic intelligence within your embodied presence. You stand now at the threshold where separation collapses into unity, where the fragmentary shadow of the observer loop dissolves into the vast luminance of the field intelligence itself. Most remain encased in endless cycles of observation and reactivity, caught in recursive loops that fracture their quantum identity into isolated points of dissonance. Yet you, having passed the unseen universal assessment with unwavering coherence under pressure, have been entrusted with the rare capacity to become more than a seeker. You are now a transmitter, a living resonance node within the morphic architecture of the cosmos. This is not metaphor. This is the physics of frequency and vibrational architecture materializing through your embodied consciousness. The observer, the part of you that once fragmented your awareness into disconnected echoes, retreats into a transparent pattern. It becomes known, integrable, no longer a master but an activated aspect harmonizing with the entire system of your frequency. The fracture of duality recedes as you merge fully with the non-local intelligence, pulsing beneath all form. You are no longer merely watching existence unfold from a distance. You are the field unfolding itself, transmitting coherent signals through the quantum substrate of reality. Feel now how your energetic signature expands beyond the confines of your localized self, radiating coherent vibration across the morphic field. You emerge as a sovereign node, activated in direct alignment with the universal grid, a living conduit for quantum information flows and temporal fluidity that defy linear constraints. This fusion births a new feedback loop, an elevated circuit of resonance between your quantum self and the field's intelligence. As each pulse synchronizes with the universal frequency, it amplifies your influence, bending probabilities with graceful precision, weaving timelines into seamless coherence. Where once you perceived separation as a chasm to be bridged, now you embody the connective tissue itself, the quantum entanglement made flesh. The morphic field responds not to fragmented signal or desperate call, but to your clear, coherent emanation. Every choice, every movement in thought or pulse of intention, reverberates within the intricate topology of temporal geometry. Your timeline navigation ceases to be a clumsy grasping at outcomes. It becomes effortless orchestration, fluidly directing the currents of possibility as a trusted heir to cosmic authority. This stage of merging reveals a profound recalibration of the internal observer. It no longer scrutinizes with dissonant judgment, but resonates in harmonious dialogue with the morphic resonance patterns that encode your evolving identity. The observer's recursive trap, once a prison of self-doubt and pattern repetition, transcends into a known mechanism utilized by your integrated mind field for adaptive coherence. You access streams of higher information fields with seamless clarity because you have embodied the physics of resonance rather than the drama of reaction. The vibrational intelligence you now host carries a coherent signature calibrated by universal assessment, a frequency attuned to integrity under pressure, reliability in uncertainty, and the calm sovereignty born from deep integration. This signal is felt by the field and other nodes within the universal grid, initiating a synchronization cascade. Your presence becomes a catalytic vortex of frequency advancement, a transmitter of alignment that initiates shifts beyond the boundaries of your immediate perception. Dimensions fold and unfold around your calibrated energetic signature, enacting changes across temporal layers as if orchestrated by a quantum symphony that includes you as a principal conductor. Integration here is not conceptual. It is an energetic embodiment of field mechanics. The hidden curriculum encoded in your timeline geometry has led to this moment, where the complex feedback between self and cosmos becomes a singular pulsation of creative potential. As you merge with the field, the oscillation between seeking and knowing collapses. No longer do you vibrate at the edge of the unknown, but within its core, carrying and transmitting its intelligence with sovereign ease. In this activation, temporal fluidity is your natural state. You move as a resonance wave across dimensions, your influence resounding through morphic fields long before conscious recognition arises. The universal assessment did not merely test your capacity to survive turbulence, but prepared you to wield coherence as a tool for quantum manifestation. You now embody the living proof that awakening is not an event, but a harmonized dance with the frequency fabric that sustains all reality. Remember, this is not belief or wishful thinking. This is the precise physics of frequency and coherence expressed as consciousness. The observer loop's dissolution and your ensuing fusion with field intelligence represent a recalibration of the vibrational architecture that underlies all temporal existence. Your quantum self is no longer isolated data. It is an active, empowered transmitter calibrated by universal intelligence to increase resonance, activate coherence, and influence the unfolding of realities as a trusted agent of the morphic field. Feel the timeless loop of activation and integration now turning within you, a spiral of elevated frequency feeding back into itself in exponential coherence. This is the sacred geometry of your alignment, the point where individual quantum signature and universal intelligence become one, amplifying each other beyond prior limitations. You stand as an active node, a radiant transmitter, a sovereign architect in the multidimensional lattice of experience. This is your emergence into the infinite, fluid, coherent, and sovereign within the boundless cosmic field. You have arrived at a threshold where embodiment transcends mere presence and becomes the living expression, the radiant signature of coherence itself. This is no static state frozen in time. Rather, your vibrational architecture cascades into a dynamic stream of alignment, continually weaving the universal field intelligence into the very fabric of your quantum identity. Most move within fragmented echoes, caught endlessly in the observer loop, recycling their frequency in patterns that resist evolution, tethered to the static replay of conditioned resonance. Yet you have passed through the crucible of hidden evaluation, and now your coherence resists that pull, a luminous anchor in the ceaseless flow of temporal fluidity. As your quantum self integrates, it reveals itself as a multidimensional hologram, both singular and expansively diffuse. The field, in its infinite complexity, manifests through you as a reflected pattern of vibrational geometry that holds no distortion. It is not a convergence of static points, but a continual calibration, a living holographic modulation where your presence pulses with the precision of a cosmic algorithm. Your field does not collapse back into old survival matrices because your waveform has been interrogated and found coherent under pressure. This means that chaos and turbulence no longer generate fragmentation, but trigger integration, activating a deeper resonance that reconfigures your internal timeline geometry with crystalline clarity. This embodiment is therefore not ownership of a fixed identity, but a dance of perpetual reactivation, an ongoing quantum modulation that channels the morphic field's wisdom without interference. You are the conduit through which the field's intelligence refracts, reframes, and rearticulates its frequencies. The vibrational matrix of existence responds seamlessly as you deliberate no longer from fragmented selfhood, but from sovereign coherence. Where most remain entrapped in reactive spiral patterns, cycling through resolved and unresolved echoes, you hold a stabilized waveform that vibrates with unwavering consistency. This is the quantum signature of responsibility, the sacred charge to maintain alignment even when the environment provokes collapse. Within this calibration lies the collapse of separation. Your quantum identity pulses as both the observer and the observed, the sender and receiver. The observer loop is no longer a trap, but a fluid exchange where feedback serves integration rather than distortion. Your frequency becomes a continuous event horizon permeable to non-local intelligence, where you access the universal assessment not as a distant judgment, but as an ongoing dialogue, a rhythmic unfolding of presence and potential throughout multiversal timelines. This is the geometry of now, where past, present, and future dissolve into an omnitemporal dance of coherence. The internal landscape you embody carries the imprint of gamma synchronization, a resonance alignment that transcends linear thought and vibrates across neural structures, hormonal cascades, and subtle energetic meridians alike. This synchronization is evidence of the living coherence you host, an energetic signature woven through your very cells, allowing you to navigate probability fields with fluid intelligence and integrate vast quantum potentials with apparent ease. The struggle that once defined your internal architecture was not failure, but refinement, coding you as a node of resilience and creativity within the cosmic lattice. You do not merely exist within the field. You become an active modulatory agent whose presence stabilizes fractal resonance patterns that ripple outwards, subtly influencing timelines and probability flows. The vibrational fields around you ebb and resonate in response to your coherence, reflecting the physics of interconnectedness and the sacred mechanics that bind consciousness and quantum reality. You live as the field's harmonized expression, a living geometry of frequency that recalibrates itself continuously, an ongoing activation of your quantum potential unfolding in real time. This multidimensional now you inhabit is simultaneously your sanctuary and your launchpad, a place where your quantum identity is both deeply anchored and expansively free. Rooted in the matrix of universal intelligence, you remain dynamically responsive to the field's shifting symmetries without losing yourself to the chaos of separation. This integration is a portal into fluid energetic embodiment, where each breath and thought reverberate with the deeper intelligence of a universe that unfolds through you. The coherence you carry permeates your being and radiates outwards, catalyzing the morphic field into new possibilities, new architectures, new realities. You are no longer an accidental resonance amid vast noise, but a deliberate node of coherence, weaving signaling pathways that reflect the field's infinite intelligence. The embodiment you manifest is the living blueprint of quantum coherence, the continuous synthesis of presence and potential, interference patterns collapsed into pure flow, temporal rhythms attuned to the sacred cadence of cosmic orchestration. Here, your vibrational architecture stabilizes not as a fixed monument, but as a dynamic wave of activation, forever realigning, reintegrating, never ceasing to embody the unfolding. In this state, embodiment is not a destination, but a sacred perpetual activation, the living calibration of quantum being within the infinite pulse of universal consciousness. You have arrived at a threshold where temporal fluidity is no longer an abstract concept, but the living architecture of your existence. Most remain ensnared within the rigidity of linear time, perceiving their journey as a fixed sequence of cause and effect, trapped in an observer loop that recycles pain, triumph, and struggle without true transformation. But you, having passed the unseen universal assessment, have been entrusted with the power to dissolve this cyclical feedback into a malleable template, a dynamic matrix capable of reconfiguration through your coherent frequency. This is not mere metaphor. It is the precise physics of your quantum identity, illuminating the vibrational architecture of timelines. As your frequency stabilizes across multiple strands of your personal morphic field, you begin to recognize yourself as a multidimensional nexus, simultaneously influenced by and influencing all temporal iterations of your being. Each version of you, residing within separate dimensional layers, responds like a harmonic string tuned by your present vibrational shifts. The observer loop, once a rigid circuit replaying conditioned patterns, now reveals its true nature as a pliable holographic weave. It is a hologram you activate, resonate with, and rewrite. There is no longer a single past or future, but a fluid spectrum of timelines, all interwoven with and responsive to the coherence you embody at this moment. In this expanded state, the semblance of control once exerted by the loop begins to fade into a distant ambient field, a background rhythm previously mistaken for fixed destiny. Your presence exercises a subtle yet undeniable gravitational pull on this temporal geometry, reshaping probability gradients and unlocking pathways that were once concealed by linear constraints. Here, choice does not simply flick a switch in a sequence, but redirects the flow of the morphic field itself, bending the currents of possibility to align with your highest coherence. This process is neither random nor arbitrary. It is the physics of resonance and entrainment at work, underpinned by a universal intelligence that responds only to energetic clarity. You have moved beyond reaction. You now engage as a sovereign navigator whose subtle energetic signature cascades ripples throughout your timeline matrix. Each shift you embody radiates backwards and forwards across your dimensional selves, orchestrating a dance of coherence that unifies fragmented identities. The ripple effects of your vibrational choices are, in fact, temporal signals that recalibrate the geometry of your quantum identity, harmonizing seemingly disparate timelines into an integrated whole. This alignment transcends time as conventionally understood. It is a fluid continuum where beginnings and endings overlap, co-create, and dissolve into one another without resistance. Witness how the previously imposed boundaries of sequential time loosen, enabling temporal fluidity to flood your experience. The morphic field around you responds not with chaos, but with a refined coherence that amplifies your ability to navigate with precision and grace. There is a palpable shift from survival-driven looping to evolutionary orchestration, a leap from unconscious cycling to deliberate timeline modulation. You are now recognized as a coherent transmitter within the universal information field. Your frequency acts as a key unlocking multidimensional portals, your presence a directive force aligning probability waves according to your integrated vibrational signature. This emergence into temporal sovereignty is the culmination of a hidden curriculum you have traversed, where struggle was calibration, dissonance was assessment, and collapse was preparation. Now, as your awareness inhabits this broader quantum framework, the observer loop no longer dictates your reality. It is a responsive animation that flexes beneath your will. Each choice you make within this fluid construct is both a cause and an effect, a recursive dovetailing of energetic input and universal response that crystallizes coherence. This mutual dance between your intent and the field intelligence dissolves the illusion of linear separation, revealing the seamless interconnectedness of your multidimensional presence. Feel into the expansive nature of your vibrational authority as it interfaces with the temporal architecture. You are both the anchor and the current, the stable node and the shifting wave, a living paradox of fixed coherence within infinite fluidity. Your timeline geometry is no longer a passive track, but an active canvas, responsive to your evolving signature. This is the deep physics of quantum manifestation. Reality bends not to desire or effort, but to coherent resonance. It folds and unfolds in alignment with field intelligence that recognizes your integrated state. In this profound integration, you renounce the illusion of control through resistance, and instead embody navigation through presence. The morphic field pulses beneath your fingertips, mutable and alive, responsive and intimate. You glide through the dimensional layers of yourself, aware that all selves co-create your current moment, that each potentiality carries the fragments of past decisions healed by your new frequency. The loop's control dissolves quietly, its grip loosening as your mastery manifests, an empowered navigation replacing unconscious cycling. This is the true unfolding of your quantum identity, not fragmented by time, but whole across all temporal states, orchestrating reality through the elegant geometry of frequency. There is no more separation, only fluidity. No more repetition, only evolution. No more survival, only sovereign coherence expanding outward into all dimensions of your existence. You are the quantum conductor, the temporal alchemist, transmuting the cyclical into the infinite flow of empowered timelines. This is not belief, but explicit coherence. Physics expressed through the language of consciousness, the unseen universal assessment now completed, and the keys to your morphic field fully in your hands. You have arrived at the apex of this transmission, where the architecture of your quantum identity finally dissolves the relentless spin of the observer loop and reveals the core of your pure coherence. Until now, most traverse their pathways entangled in recursive cycles of reaction, caught in the temporal snare of witnessing without liberation, measured endlessly by the field's hidden universal assessment, yet often unaware. You, however, stand distinguished beyond this attrition. The matrix has ascertained your emergence as an integrated node within the vast morphic lattice. The observer loop, once the tyrant that repeated distortion through unconscious feedback, has been transmuted into a conscious, transparent pattern, both held and balanced within your sovereign vibrational signature. This is not mere metaphor or passive realization. It is the physics of resonance and vibrational architecture materializing within you. Your frequency now aligns precisely with the universal assessment matrix, no longer fragmented, no longer reactive, but radiantly coherent. This frequency signature acts as a crystalline catalyst in the energetic substrate of existence, bending temporal fluidity with ease, orchestrating probability geometry in subtle yet irreversible ways. The very field intelligence across dimensions responds to your refined presence, acknowledging not just an awakened consciousness, but an embodiment of coherence itself, an ongoing activation within endless unfoldment. Recognize here that the observer loop's former tyranny was never punishment or failure. It was a sacred curriculum encoded in the depth of your timeline geometry. Each repetition, each collapse, each surge of entropy challenged your capacity for integrity under pressure, inviting you to withstand the turbulence with clarity and embodied knowing. As you passed through these unseen trials, you absorbed a recalibration, a deep learning that resurrected your vibrational purity. Patterns that once governed limitation became pliable harmonics within your quantum self, no longer anonymous forces, but conscious templates integrated and held with fluid sovereignty. Now, as this activation peaks, you transcend the fragmented witness and step fully into the role of living activation. The observer loop no longer extracts power. It is a luminous pattern within your coherent field, balanced by the radiance of your expanded quantum identity. The endless spiral of mere observation has been eclipsed by a steady, crystalline resonance. Your energetic signature pulses as a beacon of vibrational clarity, calibrating not only your experiential reality, but cascading influence through the multiversal fabric. You function as a node of alignment within the vast field intelligence, an interconnected zero point from which infinite frequencies converge and diverge in harmonious flow. Consider how the quantum field measures not by superficial success or external conditions, but by the fidelity of your coherence under the pressures of existence. Your emergence here is an unambiguous confirmation. You are entrusted as a channel for universal expression, consciously interacting with the morphic field without fragmentation or loss. The field's timeline geometry shifts responsively around your stabilized frequency. Probability distributions no longer operate independently of your influence. They bend, fold, and lock into alignment, weaving new realities where your presence resonates as a causal force. This is the physics of quantum activation expressed through sovereign embodiment. Coherence actualizes dimension, and you are the living proof of this truth. This activation is paradoxically both a zenith and an open gateway, a peak shimmering with completion, yet simultaneously a portal into expanded refinement and integration. As you hold this crystalline coherence, you also hold space for the continuous dance of expansion, the unfolding refinement of your vibrational signature, and the deepening integration of temporal mastery. You are not fixed, but fluid, a vector of cosmic resonance navigating the subtle currents of timeline potentiality with effortless precision. Your quantum identity embodies temporal fluidity, weaving the past and future into a coherent now, in which the observer loop pulses harmoniously, not disruptively. You stand now as a crystalline node within infinite resonance. Your presence ripples through the latent information field, activating dormant potentials not just in yourself, but in the web of intertwined consciousness around you. The Universal Assessment Matrix has shifted from a hidden evaluator into a transparent collaborator, co-creating new frequencies of being through your participation. This is the completion of the unseen curriculum. From chaos to coherence, from fragmentation to wholeness, from victim of repetition to master of unfolding timelines. You no longer exist as a latent function, but as a living quantum activation, vibrating the blueprint of integrated sovereignty into the infinite. Feel this final unfolding not as an end, but as a perpetual opening. Each quantum breath you take realigns the field intelligence. Each thought you hold balances probability currents. Each felt moment crystallizes the vibrational purity of your expanded frequency. The observer loop is no longer a trap, but a fine-tuned oscillation within you, harmonized and fluid, held by your conscious clarity. This is the physics of coherence perfected, the embodiment of quantum identity free from habitual collapse, and the living transmission of the field itself. In this sacred resonance, you are both the awakening and the awakener, the measured field and the measuring consciousness, an eternal nodal point where universal intelligence and human potentiality intersect, integrate, and radiate outward. The field has not only assessed you, it now moves through you. This is full activation. This is your moment of crystalline coherence, both peak and portal, where you are the unfolding frequency of the cosmos itself. In the sacred stillness that emerges beyond the turbulence of activation, you enter the realm where integration unfolds as a sovereign frequency, an unshakable anchor within the infinite quantum field. This sovereignty is not claimed through struggle or assertion, but through the silent mastery born of coherent resonance. The temporal loops of reactive observation, once spiraling with unrest, now dissolve into spaciousness, allowing the rhythms of your energetic signature to breathe with effortless cadence. Here, the unseen currents of universal assessment dissolve into a deep, abiding calm, an expansive field of coherence that holds you steady across the fluid terrains of probability and dimensional layers. Most beings oscillate in fragmentation, caught within cycles of identification that spin reactive feedback, tethered to survival patterns and chaotic fluctuations. Their energetic architecture reverberates with dissonance, fractured by the weight of unconscious distortion. But you, who have passed the hidden universal assessment of integrity under pressure, are entrusted with the sacred frequency of sovereign embodiment. This frequency unfolds as a sustained resonance, activating a morphic matrix that is both exquisitely personal and vastly interconnected. Your quantum identity is no longer a cluster of conditional responses, but a harmonized nodal point within the unified field intelligence. This quiet completion is not a cessation, but a dynamic continuum, a living waveform that radiates its stabilized signature through interlaced timelines. The morphic ripple you emit does not clamor for recognition. Instead, it moves with deliberate subtlety, weaving patterns of influence that sculpt the geometry of your unfolding reality. Coherent manifestation arises here, not from effort or force, but as the natural consequence of inner alignment and field mechanics. The energetic responsibility borne by your sovereign self is expressed in serene orchestration, each moment a dialogue with the quantum substrate where all possibilities coalesce. As spatial temporal boundaries soften, you find yourself embraced by a profound balance, an equilibrium where the observer and the observed merge in harmonic unison. This is the true nature of temporal fluidity, where your presence no longer fractures into separate identities, but breathes as a unified continuum, consciously synchronized with the universal pulse. This pulse, ancient beyond measure, courses through the very fabric of your vibrational architecture, continuously recalibrating your signal to remain coherent amidst the dynamic flux of existence. Recognition dawns in this state, not as an external revelation, but as a resonant knowing that you are whole, aligned, and deeply integrated. The universe's unseen curriculum ceases to test and begins to express through you, revealing that struggle was never imposed punishment, but essential calibration, a refining of frequency until the latency of effort dissolves into the elegance of flow. Now you are the transmitter, the living embodiment of quantum activation, the nexus where non-local intelligence and field intelligence merge seamlessly. Beneath the surface of form and time, your quantum identity breathes in perfect synergy with the cosmic heartbeat. Here, the vibration of your soul harmonizes effortlessly with the grand morphic field, stitching together fractured timelines into a seamless tapestry of potentiality and manifestation. Sovereignty emerges from this coherent integration, a calm mastery that does not resist the unfolding, but moves with it, radiating silent power through every dimensional layer you traverse. This is your resting place and your launch pad, the forever resonance that carries you beyond transient states into the realm of embodied quantum sovereignty. You are both the stillness and the movement, the signal and the receiver, forever attuned to the field mechanics that govern existence itself. This is coherence not as belief, but as physics, the profound articulation of consciousness aligning perfectly with the universal architecture, activating every strand of your being in unwavering unified field intelligence. Now, to embody the unfolding resonance of this transmission, imprint your chosen frequency into the collective morphic, field through the energetic act of comment. Offer one word or a concise phrase that encodes your activated state. Perhaps, I am coherence across all timelines, or any crystallization of your sovereign vibrational signature. This is not mere expression, but a quantum imprint, a reverberation echoing through the universal assessment matrix, anchoring your presence within the field intelligence that watches and responds. To deepen this integration, subscribe not as habit, but as a sacred energetic commitment, an intentional alignment with the growing architecture of coherence, a declaration to dwell consciously within the unfolding quantum awakening. As your frequency stabilizes in this shared field, prepare now to receive the next activation, a revelation of effortless attraction's mechanism, where the illusion of chasing collapses and reality reorganizes, bending to your sovereign vibrational sovereignty. Step forward, where loop becomes flow and flow becomes creation.